So Ambassador Badreldin Abdalla, we're very pleased to welcome you here today to the Institute for Cultural Diplomacy. Thank you so much for taking the time to answer a few questions with us. So we'd like to ask you a few questions just to find out your views on some various topical issues. And so, cultural diplomacy is the promotion of cultural exchange and dialogue in a place of seismic difference, to advance the cause for peaceful resolution in the hopes of a more peaceful, stable world. How would you, as an ambassador and high-ranking dignitary, define cultural diplomacy?
Yeah, thank you very much for this interview and for your interest in Sudan and in Africa. Actually, I'm looking to the culture and cultural diplomacy as understanding. To me, it means understanding, better understanding. Whenever there is better understanding, it means there is going to be good relations. And whenever there is also good understanding or better understanding, it means the relation is going to be more cemented and more sustainable. So political and economical relations can be can show or can witness ups and downs, but cultural relations always a sustainable one, and it is a very important and cementing agent for the international relations. So I'm looking to the cultural diplomacy and culture in general as a cementing agent between the different nations, and also it gives more understanding. So if there is more understanding, it means there is a common ground for all the people to talk about anything and to dialogue and to get into peaceful means of diplomacy and soft diplomacy.
In regards to your speech, Africa is witnessing a seismic shift in economic development, where major cities are now becoming the engine for economic growth. How does facilitating economic sustainability differ from previous forms in the past, and how are many African nations using cultural diplomacy as a tool to advance these new trends?
Yeah, regarding the economical growth of Africa, now this is quite known now because 5 of the 10 fastest growing economies global in the globe, they are from Africa. And one of the good reasons of that is the growing of the middle class. There is more market. So whenever there is more market, more this middle class means production is more and consumption also is more. For that, the economies of Africa is witnessing progressive growth and development. Culture can play a role, a very important, vital role for the understandings between the African countries themselves, because there is also inter-conflicts between the African countries. For example, Sudan is historically and culturally is part of the Great Sudan. That Great Sudan extending from Ethiopia, from the east, or Ethiopia and Eritrea, up to the Atlantic Ocean, to the Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana and other West African countries. So historically we are part of that. So we share many things with them. You can listen to Sudanese songs in Addis Ababa as well as in N'Djamena. So we are well connected, but we need some support for that, because all the images and all the news and all what you listen about our countries is conflict, war, tension, and so on. But the international media, in particular, they don't reflect our cultural connectivity and our cultural richness. We are very rich in Africa. Now, if you ask 10 countries from all over the globe, from different parts of the globe, to present their cultures, the richest one is going to be that's coming from Africa, and more interesting and more attractive that is coming from Africa. So by this rebranding of Africa and the good image of Africa, we can attract investment from outside to develop our own country and to develop our natural resources, because now the African economy is based on export of natural resources. There is no added value for that. But if there is more investment, there is more know-how coming to our countries, more technology coming to us, so we can add a value to that, and this means good budget in the different African countries, and this means also development in different parts of the country and different parts of the continent. And when all the countries are developing, though maybe in different levels, but at the end they will come together, because now they don't have internal conflicts and problems and tensions, so they will think about to come out and to come to some sort of economical regional integration, and then to take, as they said, by one voice of the region, or one voice of Africa.
So do you think that the West have more of a responsibility to portray Africa in a better manner? Or do you think that it's the Africans themselves that we should do more to show the rest of the world what we have to offer?
We acknowledge that, and we know that we have our own problems.
Yeah.
But the problems is all over the world. But the international media, European media in particular, used to reflect only the bad news, only the conflicts. And as I said, now in Sudan we have very reliable educational institutions, but nobody in the world know that. But they know the conflict in Darfur, they know the war between Sudan and South Sudan, they know there is a lady has been sentenced or something like. They pick some individual cases and continue hammering on that. So they are shaping the European and the Western mentality of Africa as a problematic region. But they know that we are very rich in our natural resources, very rich in our history, very rich in our culture, but they don't reflect that.
To garner some insight in Sudan's own economic development, what are some of the tools being used to build economic bridges in your own country, and what role does cultural diplomacy play in increasing nation branding for Sudan?
Yeah, the base of any economical growth is stability. So to achieve this stability, we are in peace process for the last maybe 15 years. We achieved the CPA, that is the Comprehensive Peace Agreement with South Sudan, and we give them the rights of self-determination, and they voted for their own country, and we acknowledge we are the first country to recognize the newborn country looking for peace and stability, and we express our readiness to give hands to them to construct their born country. And nowadays there is a new initiative from the President al-Bashir for national dialogue to bring all the political parties and political actors on board, so that to dialogue and to come to a common ground. So this is very important, because it started as political dialogue, but now on the coming Sunday he's going to announce a new initiative for the social actors. So this means the cultural diplomacy is going to be there. The cultural actors is going to be there, because when you are talking about social actors, it means different parts of the country, they are coming together, express their own aspiration to be accommodated in the new constitution. So now the political dialogue is one of the very important tools for both political and social aspects of the state, so that to bring the whole country intact together, so that to start develop our country and to develop our resources.
Sudan recently has been facing conflicts which has caused unrest within Sudan as well as neighboring regions. How do you think cultural diplomacy as a tool can be used to solve these issues and reconcile ties?
Our last issue regarding with our neighbors is South Sudan, and we came to this CPA. As I told, we signed peace agreement. We implemented that peace agreement. Now we have good relations with South Sudan. So now Sudan is witnessing very good relations with all its neighbors, and this is now allowing Sudan to have a common ground with our neighbors, so that to integrate culturally, to integrate economically, and to integrate also politically, and to complement each other. Now we have joined forces to protect our neighbors with Chad, with Central Africa, with South Sudan, and negotiating now with Libya also, and negotiating with Egypt for the same. All this to have a peaceful environment for the cultural aspects and for the political, economical aspects to come together, so that we can work together and integrate together. And particularly Sudan's geopolitical position of Sudan is in the heart of the region, and we extend it from the Red Sea to the deep in the middle of Africa and to the west of Africa. So we can connect all this region culturally, economically, and politically, and infrastructure can be extended from Sudan as a network and grid to the whole region.
To add to that, how does the future of Sudan look like to you?
Of course, we are optimistic, and we are looking forward after the resolution of our prominent conflict with South Sudan, and after peace agreement, and we signed 9 agreements with South Sudan, and we are coming with good relations with all our neighbors, and now we have 2 conflicts in 2 periphery of the Sudan. We have dialogue with the rebel groups in Addis Ababa on the spices of the African Union, and also we hope that this is a national dialogue also will bring them together, because they are invited actually to participate and to come to this national dialogue. And by this political stability, we hope to be in a position to develop our resources and to develop our economy. Before the separation of South Sudan, Sudan economy was the fastest economy worldwide, one of the fastest economies worldwide. But because of the economic shock after the separation of Sudan, and we lost many resources that was coming from South Sudan, we have now an economic recovery plan that's ended this year, and we start a new economic plan for 5 years. We hope by the end of these 5 years we'll be in a position to be a contributor for the stability, for the economic integration, for the economic development in Africa.
Okay. On behalf of ICD, we thank you for coming, and you're always welcome back. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.